If that's raining outside, come on in, guys. I don't want anybody out there. Are you guys in the rain? Or is that not rain? I thought that was rain. It is?
This is former Vice President Joe Biden. The month of July 2020 was interesting for old Sleepy Joe, and I thought it would be worth it to take a look back on all of the highlights. First, there's the following tweet from the beginning of the month. I'll read my daily briefings. Biden is referring to the president's daily briefing that includes highly classified intelligence analysis, CIA covert operations, and intelligence reports from other countries. According to unnamed current and former intelligence officials familiar with President Trump's intelligence briefings, Mr. Trump is particularly difficult to brief on critical national security matters and has a short attention span and rarely, if ever, reads intelligence reports. Members of Trump's cabinet have flatly denied this, but let's trust a bunch of anonymous low-level intelligence officials who may or may not have it out for Trump and run the story anyway. But regardless of the accuracy of the reporting, Joe Biden saying that he'll read his daily briefings is dubious, considering that the man can't even read a teleprompter.
Lonnie knows I believe this every fiber of my being. We're posed. What I proposed is it can be done.
Seconds later, Biden starts reading about policy plans and just gives up.
Critical laws like the PRO Act to strengthen collective bargaining. On politics like prevailing and look, I guess I'm taking too much time, but you know.
Yeah, you know all of this anyway. I don't even know why I'm bothering.
Folks, it's my coach used to say it's go-to time. It's go time now.
Then there's this clip from a live stream with members of the Service Employees International Union. And to show how bad he messed this one up, you can see Joe Biden on the left, and on the right is what he's supposed to be reading off of the teleprompter.
And fourth, you need premium pay. Congress has to pass a comprehensive premium pay plan that honors your heroism now, not yesterday. We needed yesterday. I unveiled a plan to strengthen our caring economy.
You don't need that premium pay yesterday, you need it now.
The thing is, it's my money and I need it now.
Now, one thing you might not know about Joe Biden is that he's a time traveler and has seen the future, but he gets confused about where he is in the timeline.
But you know, in the 2020 census, which is now 2 censuses ago, soon to be.
Oh, good grief. And Biden is generally confused about where he is at any given time.
Welcome to Kingswood Community Center. Actually, that's the one down I used to work. It's a joke. You know where we were. Anyway.
Trump should consider changing the nickname he uses for Biden from Sleepy Joe to Joke Biden. Speaking of jokes, Joe Biden claims that he wants to bring integrity back to the White House, but at the same time, straight up lies about President Trump, and no one calls him out on it. And when it comes to COVID-19, after months of doing nothing other than predicting the virus would disappear, or maybe if you drank bleach, you may be okay, Trump has simply given up. That is a lie. President Trump has said some dumb things over the years, but he has never told anybody to drink bleach.
When the president decided he had to walk across from the White House to a group of peaceful demonstrators, to an Episcopal church to hold a Bible upside down, which I don't know how often he reads.
And that's another lie. Clearly you can see that Trump didn't hold the Bible upside down. Even Snopes.com had to admit that Trump is capable of holding a book right side up. But remember folks, Joe Biden's fighting for the soul of this nation, even if he has to spread lies to do it. Then on July 20th, Biden spoke to Joy Reid on her new MSNBC show, The Readout. First, they played a clip of President Trump talking about a new healthcare plan he was preparing to unveil.
We're signing a healthcare plan within 2 weeks, a full and complete healthcare plan that the Supreme Court decision on DACA gave me the right to do. So we're going to sign an immigration plan, a healthcare plan, and various other plans.
What do you make of a president of the United States who's threatening again to take health care away from 20, 30 million people as his campaign strategy, and again going back to the idea of kicking out immigrants?
Look, this guy has no sense of empathy or concern for people. People are dying.
So Joy Reid and Dishonest Joe claim that when Trump says that he's going to unveil a full and complete healthcare plan, that what he really means is that he's gonna take away healthcare from 30 million people. Then they claim that Trump wants to kick out immigrants, which is a bunch of BS, considering that since January 2018, Trump has been working towards a deal to give an estimated 1.8 million DACA recipients a path to citizenship. As part of that deal, Democrats would have had to agree to give Trump $25 billion towards the southern border wall, which seems like a fair deal. But the Democrats refused because they would rather throw Dreamers under the bus instead of giving President Trump a win. So Joy Reid asked what Biden would do differently than Trump if Biden was elected president.
Walk us through what you would do differently, and assuming it actually by then will be worse.
I talked early on about the Defense Act that allows him to go and say to a company, manufacture the following things, and so on.
But Trump has used the Defense Production Act dozens of times.
Under this contract, our 33rd use of the Defense Production Act. Remember when you were saying, I didn't use it enough, And now you heard it's the 33rd use. We don't talk about it all the time.
And notice that Biden didn't say what things to manufacture, which is kind of an important detail to leave out, but whatever.
You need more testing. You need to be able to test and trace.
The United States has done more testing than any other country in the world. Furthermore, there's debate whether contact tracing can work on a virus with such a wide community spread and within a large population. Ultimately, testing and tracing is the responsibility of states and localities and not the federal government. Yeah.
You need to be in a position where you're able to insist that everyone wear masks, everyone socially distanced, that businesses do not open if they cannot do that.
The Trump administration has issued guidelines on masks and social distancing. But again, it's up to the states and localities to issue these policies and enforce them, not the federal government.
We need to make sure we have health insurance, as well as making sure no one has to pay for contracting COVID and or being treated for COVID.
But Trump is already doing that. The White House has promised that all costs connected to the coronavirus are covered for uninsured patients and that insurance companies would be reimbursed.
In addition, I would suggest right now, and I've urged the president to do this, right now there may be a vaccine, God willing, after the first of the year. We should have a command officer now. We should be spending $25 billion to put together exactly how that will be distributed.
But the Department of Defense and the CDC are already preparing to do that.
Our general is all ready to go, and he's very excited. And once we have the vaccine approved, fully approved, he'll start the process. They will start the process.
So the question posed to Joe Biden was, what would you do differently than Trump when it comes to the virus? Turns out he wouldn't do anything different. Now, you see what he's doing, right? He's trying to convince voters that President Trump isn't doing any of the things that he mentioned, and that Joe Biden is going to be our coronavirus savior, which is absurd considering that Biden can't even post a video on the right day.
But believe me, truly, it's a battle we can and we will win if we act together. Happy 4th.
Don't listen to anybody who tells you not to wear a mask. It matters. It matters, it matters, it matters. We're going to overcome this. Listen to what the scientists say, not the politicians. And I'm a politician, I know, but I'm listening to the scientists.
So by that logic, we shouldn't listen to the politicians even when they tell us to listen to the scientists. And don't worry, Joe Biden, if you become president, I promise never, ever to listen to you. One of the bigger controversies surrounding Joe Biden is whether or not he supports the Defund the Police movement, i.e. removing or redirecting a portion of funds from police budgets and using those funds elsewhere. On June 10th, USA Today published an op-ed by Biden which explicitly says, "I do not support defunding police." That seems like a definitive statement, right? Well, we're dealing with Joe Biden. And as you'll see in this clip with progressive activist Addie Barkan, Joe Biden is sympathetic to the Defund the Police movement.
We can reduce the responsibilities assigned to the police and redirect some of the funding for police into social services, mental health counseling, and affordable housing. Are you open to that kind of reform?
Yes, I propose that kind of reform.
And for clarity,
So my generic point is that
Do we agree that we can redirect some of the funding?
yes, absolutely.
oh, so Biden was against defunding the police until he was for it. This is either a massive flip-flop or Biden is pandering/lying to get Addie Barkan's endorsement. Either way, it's gross. Speaking of gross, here's another Joe Biden tweet. The hard truth is women, and particularly women of color, have never had a fair shot to get ahead in this country. That's why today, I'm releasing my plan to make sure women can fully participate in the economy and country. Let me translate that for you. All women are victims, and I'm the only one that can save them. Just remember that Joe Biden, a 77-year-old white man who, despite preaching about equality for women, ran against and triumphed over several women, particularly women of color, to secure the Democratic nomination. But vote for good old Joe Biden, ladies, because without his help, you'll never be equal. Anyway, that's it for now. Remember to check out my limited edition Asteroid 2020 t-shirt and other merchandise in my Teespring store, and be sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And with all that, thanks for watching, sharing, and hitting that like button. And as always, I hope to see you next time.